The idea that nuclear war is unthinkable is a dangerous concept. There's just absolutely no way that civil society can hold, even with one nuclear missile. And that should scare the hell out of everyone.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Today, every inhabitant of this planet must contemplate the day when this planet may no longer be habitable.
Atomic bombs, people think Hiroshima and Nagasaki, those were tiny. A thermonuclear bomb is a two-stage weapon. It is an atomic bomb inside a nuclear bomb. The atomic bomb is the fuse. It's so incredibly powerful. It's like if you set off 1,000 Hiroshimas at the same time in the same place. It only takes one of those to take out a city, and also the anarchy and the mayhem that is almost guaranteed to follow. After a nuclear war, it's just a matter of self-survive. Hope that you have Pedialyte stocked.
It seems like there's no hope for anything.
In essence, 5 billion people will die. The people that die in the minutes and hours of the fireballs, the fallout, and then the nuclear winter. Because the temperature of the Earth will drop by 40 degrees Fahrenheit. There will be 330 billion pounds of soot lofted into the air. Places like Iowa and Ukraine will be sub-zero for 7 years, every day of the year. And so then, that's the death of agriculture.
Who survives?
Who would want to survive? You'd have like this small group of people who would essentially become hunter-gatherers again. You'd have to be an advanced prepper with military training to be able to survive in a world without agriculture. The whole idea of not having a nuclear war is predicated on this idea of deterrence, which is just a theoretical phenomenon. So if that works, great, we won't have a nuclear war. But what if it doesn't work? What if one rogue missile gets launched?
After this U.S. nuclear-armed ballistic submarine docked in the Korean peninsula, North Korea's defense minister threatening possible nuclear retaliation.
We have super sophisticated defense rockets, right? NORAD, that can shoot down missiles out of the sky.
Which is pure fantasy. The U.S. arsenal is about 1,700 ready for launch, more or less, okay? And Russia has the same. China has 500 now. North Korea has maybe 50. People think, well, they imagine like Israel's Iron Dome. Our system is called the Interceptor System, and it's run by the Missile Defense Agency. And they have a grand total of 44 interceptor missiles. And the success rate of those interceptor missiles is between 40 and 55%. And you don't start a nuclear war with a couple missiles. You send the mother lode.
I don't think anybody, by and large, is aware that we have a rule that as soon as missiles launch heading towards us, we have to empty our arsenal. It's use it or lose it.
Once one is launched, it's
They're
the
all
end game.
launched.
I have been very, very direct with Secretary Stoltenberg and members of the alliance in saying that NATO members must finally contribute their fair share and meet their financial obligations. But 23 of the 28 member nations are still not paying what they should be paying and what they are supposed to be paying for their defense. This is not fair to the people and taxpayers of the United States. And many of these nations owe massive amounts of money from past years and not paying in those past years. Over the last 8 years, the United States spent more on defense than all other NATO countries combined. If all NATO members had spent just 2% of their GDP on defense last year, we would have had another $119 billion for our collective defense and for the financing of additional NATO reserves.
I'm going to explain to you tariffs in a way that you can explain to anybody moving forward. You ready? Let's say you sell auto insurance. I want you to give me clients because I need to grow my business. And we meet each other. We're friends. We're networking at a local Chamber of Commerce event. We say, hey man, you give me one referral, I'll give you a referral. You want to kind of share some clients together? Let's do it. No problem. So all of a sudden, a month later, I've given you 5 referrals. You've given me 0. I have a referral deficit of -5. You have a referral surplus of +5. Trade deficit, trade surplus. You get the idea? Now, think about it if a year later, 5 years later, you and I are giving referrals to each other. I sit down and I look at the numbers and I said, wait a minute, Johnny, I've given you 1,100 more referrals than you've given to me. Do I look like a dummy to you? Why do I keep giving you referrals? And you give me nothing in return. You're like, well, I take care of your clients when you send them my way. What's wrong with that? That's exactly the relationship between US and China.
Oh,
Yeah,
we are on then, huh?
we are on.
What up, Thomas?
Not much, brother. How you doing?
Everything's good. How about yourself?
It's good.
Yeah,
It's good.
We're
Sorry.
finally back.
Yeah, it's good to be back.
Yeah.
Always good to be
How
back.
was New Year's?
It was great. It was great. We actually bought like a cast iron pan for the first time. Have you cooked with cast iron very much?
No, not very much.
It's nice, actually.
Yeah.
The pans are just really, really heavy,
Mhm.
but they're super nice. That we cooked steak for the first time on it. The first time we used it, and they turned out amazing. It's actually super, super good.
Really? Does
Yeah.
it taste any different?
Yes,
You can tell?
Yeah, I can tell like as opposed to like a pan, like a regular pan
Or a grill?
something. It's similar to a grill.
Nice.
Similar to a grill is what I would say.
Yeah. No, I've never owned one. Maybe I'd have to look into it and see.
Yeah, they're nice. That's what I was just talking to another buddy, and like you say, it's similar to a grill, or like I was saying, like you were guessing, it's nice for like this time of year. So
Yeah.
when you don't want to go outside in the cold and grill
I love to grill on the cold.
in the cold.
Have you
Yeah.
ever tried it?
No,
What?
I haven't. We were trying it, but my propane's out. I gotta get a new
Oh.
tank.
Yeah, you go out, I don't know, 10 o'clock at night and start grilling. I don't know why. It tastes a lot better.
Yeah,
Maybe 'cause I don't want to do it in the house. I don't know.
I gotta get my tank refilled like ASAP because I liked it a lot when we did it over the summer.
Yeah.
I was really enjoying the grill.
Oh, yeah, we try to grill every summer.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
I mean, I think that's just something that.
it was like $40 for a propane tank.
Yeah,
Yeah.
gas is getting.
Yeah.
Propane's getting up high.
Yeah,
You know, even well, have you noticed the gas has going down? I haven't really paid attention too much to it.
like regular like gasoline,
Yeah, unleaded and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, everything's. What do you think? Does that have to do
it's like
anything?
down to? It's kind of like settled at like around $3 right now.
Have you ever noticed that always happens during like election time?
Yeah. It's like I don't know if they're trying to like no, gas was low when we were in.
Yeah, it's been low this whole time. What are you guys talking about?
Dude, how much did it get up to during Biden? It was like it got up to almost $5, or it did get past
Yeah, it was.
$5.
I think the most I've seen, if I can remember, was like 420 or 425 or something like that.
Oh yeah, it was like at $5.
That's
I
ridiculous.
remember. Yeah, it was insane. That's the most it's ever been that I've ever
Yeah.
seen.
That's why Trump says drill, baby, drill.
Yeah, I agree, 100%.
So what's going on in the world that you've seen?
Up front, what's been really up front is the California fires
Yeah.
that what I've seen. But there's all kind of conspiracy surrounding that right now. Obviously, I think it's just normal because there's always been fires in California.
Right.
There was somebody was talking on some podcast. They were speaking to like a firefighter who said it was just like a matter of time.
Oh, it was on
for
the
this
Joe
to
Rogan
happen.
podcast.
Was that?
He says the perfect
Okay.
wind and the perfect speed and everything.
That they've just been getting lucky
Mhm.
kind of thing. Yeah.
Well, I don't even know if someone started or how it got started, or I don't know if they clarify that yet.
I don't know how the fires really start over there.
How do you start a fire like that?
Well, I don't know. They're always on fire over there, so I don't know what's happening. There was a gentleman who they interviewed who his house didn't burn down. He was like ex-military, and what he did because this happens all the time there. You'd think there would be like a level of preparation from most people who live there, but apparently not. Especially the rich people. A bunch of celebrities lost their vacation.
Yeah.
Like, how do you not have preparation? Like, you have all this money and you're not setting up some type of prep, like deterrent for this for your household. All this guy did was set up sprinklers on this rooftop. He set roofs.
He actually did?
Yeah. And his house was fine.
He's going to water his roof?
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
And in an emergency situation when you live in that place.
Yeah, I guess.
That was smart.
Dude, that guy was just waiting for a fire, huh?
Every house around him was burned down.
Yeah, he was just waiting for. He's like, I can't wait till this happens.
I'll show you all.
Yeah, what I thought it was odd was there. I saw like an ad and it was saying to donate. A bunch of celebrities lost their house. Like, what would I donate to a bunch of celebrities?
Yeah.
I'm sure they have homeowners insurance. I don't know.
Oh yeah.
If they even do that.
Everyone's gonna get a check, I'm sure, but it's also. I mean, I'm not like unsympathetic towards the situation. Your house burned down. You lost probably things that just can't be replaced through money. So I'm not unsympathetic towards it, but at the same time,
well, you don't want to donate, Thomas?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mel Gibson needs that money, dude.
Yeah. Okay. I haven't donated to anything else, so I don't even want to name the things I haven't done because I probably should have. But why would I donate to California? Mel Gibson.
But what about the Diddy conspiracy? All the celebrities that are actually glad that happened, killed all that evidence. I mean, it is kind of strange that all of a sudden this big old fire happens. What was it, like a year ago before?
Was there somebody's house that would have had evidence?
Yeah, all down? Hollywood.
Would that be amazing that's like where it started?
Yeah, you can just
imagine. They
imagine.
just like trace it back to like some like epicenter of Diddy freaking evidence. Like the freaking.
That's probably what they're like. Oh yeah, hell yeah. My house. But in reality, they're like, oh yeah, Diddy files are deleted.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
That's crazy.
That's actually a good point. I didn't think about that.
Yeah, LeBron James is just waiting for that fire to happen.
Yeah. Is that where he lived? Was in LA?
Yeah, he lived in LA. And ironically, he, months before that, he goes, "There ain't no party like a Diddy party." And his whole house. I don't know if his house burned down or not, but all of LA did.
Dude.
But what do you imagine? Like, what if that was something like that? That was a conspiracy that some celebrities, they could afford to get somebody to do that and burn down the place, and then the FBI or anyone can't have no evidence that they were in those Diddy parties.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that like you're asking what if that happened?
Yeah, I mean, is it a possibility?
I don't doubt it. I mean, I'm sure it's a possibility. Crazier things are happening, I'm sure.
Yeah, because it's all of like Hollywood and stuff. It's not if you really see it.
Yeah. There's powerful people, I'm sure, connected to some of these parties and wouldn't want that information to get out. I'm surprised Diddy's still alive. Where the hell?
Yeah, I thought.
Where are they keeping him, by the way?
I don't know. I don't know where they're keeping him, but I don't know how you went from all this money to fame, fortune, baby oil to prison.
Yeah, maybe he's already dead.
Maybe. But you think he'll pull an Epstein? Because I kind of compare
it wouldn't
both.
surprise me, right?
Well, no, it wouldn't surprise me either.
Yeah,
but I haven't really looked into it. But like, how bad was it? Do you think that those parties, was there underage? What was the high crime that they're putting Diddy in prison?
I don't know. There's probably like sometimes it's not so bad. Other times there's probably like
because it's human trafficking.
Like, this is like the area of the party that's not bad. Everybody's just partying and drinking and dancing. Then there's a back room where there's the Diddy room in the back.
Yeah, where everyone's doing cocaine and baby oil.
Yeah, and getting diddied.
Because there could be people that are just they were involved in like sexual activity and whatnot, and then all of a sudden say, "Yeah, I was forced to do all this." Because a lot of celebrities are coming out saying they were forced.
I'm sure there was sexual activity. I'm sure there was plenty of sexual activity. The question is probably just like, was there like,
was it forced?
Was
or
it
not
nefarious?
Forced?
Yeah. Was it freaking? Was there people who were underage? Was there, drugs involved with it where it's all like, now it's technically a rape situation because, they were putting Quaaludes in the freaking.
Yeah, he canceled that Costco membership with all that baby oil.
Yeah.
I guess there was a walk-in closet full of baby oil, just baby oil.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
He just has a vat.
Yeah, he's all, welcome to my room.
It's like, you got 5 tanks of baby oil in there, man. What the?
And then LeBron James, ain't no party like a Diddy party. I'm like, damn, dude.
That's funny. Oh, really?
Yeah,
that was a LeBron James quote.
Yeah, he was FaceTiming, and it went online. And yeah, he was all like, yeah, he's talking back and forth with P. Diddy. And he's like, yeah, there ain't no party like a Diddy party.
Dang.
And then, yeah.
That's funny. I know those parties probably go like for like days at a time too.
Oh, I can't even imagine. Like, they don't have to go to work the next day. They don't care.
Yeah.
That'd be funny if they get like P. Diddy to do like commercials for Johnson and Johnson or something for the baby oil.
Yeah. Yeah. That would be funny. That would have been funny. Nobody, obviously, he's not getting no commercial deals now, but.
Well, maybe people will end up doing it. Maybe they will buy it because they think the commercial is just great. If they got P. Diddy,
I guess if he gets cleared of all charges or
Yeah.
something like that. Mike Tyson, like has been some pretty hot water now. Nobody, it's basically forgotten about.
Yeah.
With Mike Tyson, like he's basically forgiven.
Well, it's Mike Tyson. What do you think?
Exactly.
Huh? P. Diddy ain't no Mike Tyson. though.
I don't even bring him up.
Yeah.
Except in a situation like this, because there are those situations where like. You're a celebrity. I don't know what the word celebritism or whatever is so large. You can get away with basically anything once you've done your time or something like that.
Right.
I don't know how bad Mike Tyson's situation was with sexual assault or whatever, but he's basically forgiven now. He's built and I hear him speak, and he sounds like a good guy. When I hear him speak, he doesn't sound like he's a bad guy, but. I could be wrong. I don't know Mike Tyson. I'm sure there's people who would disagree with me. Mike Tyson's not such a great guy.
I don't know. I can just imagine. I'm gonna fuck you up. I'll bang him.
It's like you come across as a nice guy, but you're really just a piece of shit.
Yeah, you're really a piece of shit. Yeah, that was a bad Mike Tyson impression from my part, but
that's all right. Me too.
I think there's levels to it. Really, like. If you had any other boxer that if you had Jake Paul fucking beating the woman, everyone would just crucify that dude. Like they just wouldn't put up with that shit. But it's Mike Tyson, so no harm, no foul. I guess.
Iron Mike, bro. What are you gonna do? You gonna say it to his face? Hell
yeah. Well, maybe now he will. He'll come mess you up with some chaps.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. That was ridiculous. That was so funny.
I think.
Like,
cut
the camera.
I think that was planned, dude. That had to be planned,
right?
Yeah.
I know. That's hilarious. It was funny.
Netflix are like, you know what? We're buffering a lot. Just put these chaps on and get more views.
How do you not? I don't know. How do you not know that?
And he just walks like a boss. Like, I don't give a fuck. My ass is out.
Yeah,
showing the world.
Check it out.
Yeah, but there's definitely levels.
Yeah.
Even like when Michael Jordan had accused of gambling games, and
Michael Jordan had that. Kobe Bryant had it.
And stuff, and everyone's like, let him gamble.
And honestly, and even now, right now, Conor McGregor.
Oh,
did you hear about that?
Yeah, I did. Another rape assault,
something like that. Yeah, but and he claims, obviously it was a consensual thing, and maybe it was. I don't know. When people are just trying to get it, there's a lot of people who just want to collect a paycheck nowadays and scream, sexual assault. Not to also, I'm not like, I don't want to sound callous towards real sexual assault victims.
Right.
But this happens. This is something that does happen.
Yeah, they see an opportunity. They say, well, I can get some money out of this. And a lot of, you're kind of right. Like, I don't want to, if someone did actually get sexually assaulted, say all these things, but there are been false accusations out there before. And those false accusations, they say, well, I'll just take advantage, give them some hush money and I'm on my way out. That's really what they want. They don't want to go to court. They don't want to do all that. They just want get paid off and that's it.
Exactly.
So, but do you see Conor McGregor doing something like that? I mean, I know he acts like a jerk off sometimes, but
no, he doesn't seem like that type of person. He seems like somebody who would definitely get into a sticky situation, though. Like a situation where could be taking advantage of himself in that way. Where a lady like gets him and her super drunk and whatever, and like if a woman is drunk
and it's Conor McGregor,
you shouldn't mess with her, obviously, just because. It's easy, to say that you take advantage of somebody if they were drunk. Even though if it seemed consensual to you, it could suddenly turn like into a thing later, I think.
Right.
Where they could easily say, I wasn't in my right mind. I wasn't this, I wasn't that. I didn't want that. I was pushing you away or something like that. But who knows? I don't know.
Yeah, to me, I mean, that's
It's
always
happened
tough.
before where it's come out where a woman has lied before about it.
What about like the Fox reporter Joy Taylor? You know Joy Taylor's? Did you hear about that? Yeah,
No.
she's a Fox reporter, really good looking lady.
Yeah.
Okay. And all of a sudden they fired, I think it was the hairdresser for Fox when they F1 Sports, and she came out and said that Joy Taylor was sleeping with everyone just to be a host in that show, and it's big old controversy about that.
Wow.
And it's celebrities that she slept with, and the whole anchor crew.
That just recently happened?
Yeah, that happened like a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, maybe.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I didn't hear about that.
But see,
so it was somebody who worked kind of behind the scenes as a hairdresser?
Yeah, she was a hairdresser for
Fox.
For Fox Sports.
And she got fired, and she came out.
Mm-hmm.
And
you know that
Joe
show
Taylor
with Skip Bayless
was
and
just, yeah,
Skip Bayless
I think
is
so.
not First Take. It was a what is it? Oh God, I was just watching it the other day. But yeah, it's for Fox Sports. It's like a First Take. They talk about sports.
Yeah, I think I know which one you're talking about. I know who Skip Bayless is. Yeah,
and
I've seen.
There's a meme that everyone at Fox Sports is like all happy, whatever, and Skip Bayless is like, "When's my turn?" But they took it from another scene. They just cut it out. When's my turn? When's my turn?
What was that supposed to mean? Like it was.
Well,
like
because everybody got with her, and he wanted next, I guess.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, that's hilarious. That's funny. No, I didn't hear about that. But I'm sure it's all. I bet though in those circles of politics and like in political news, and you just sleep your way to the top all the time. I bet there's so many cases like that.
Yeah. Yeah, she, I guess, slept with the big boss. And she's really good looking. She's really pretty, really good looking girl. But like, if she wants to do that, I mean, I don't understand.
How do you think Monica Lewinsky got her job?
I did not have sexual relations with that woman. She was just under my desk.
It's funny, man.
But yeah, that's something crazy. What about did you see the funeral? Jimmy Carter's funeral. They had all the presidents.
No, I heard he passed, but I didn't really see. Like,
he was 100 years old.
Wow.
Yeah, he lived a good life. So yeah, it was pretty sad. But
rest in peace.
They made yeah, for sure, rest in peace. But they made a big deal because Barack Obama and Donald Trump were sitting down, talk like if they were best buds, dude.
Oh, I seen that.
Did you see that?
There was like a really funny one where it's like inside Kamala Harris's head, and she's she's all pissed off that they were like that they're friends, and she's like, "This shit's pissing me off." Blah, blah, blah. And then she gets in a fight with Jill Biden. Is it that
the wife?
The wife of Joe Biden. Yeah. Yeah, it shows like AI like created this big fight between them.
Oh, really?
Right? Yeah, while they're sitting there.
I got to see that one.
I was trying to find it today. I couldn't find it because I was trying to show some people at work. But
I saw the meme that they're just talking, and Kamala Harris and her husband sits down, and they had a voiceover. They're like, "Oh hell nah, hell nah."
It's so funny. So because you see the look on her face, something's going through her head.
Yeah,
she looks over and she turns around like, with like this like smug kind of attitude she gets.
The body language was there.
Yeah.
What I'm curious is
what the hell's going on over here?
What do you think Obama and Trump talked about? I mean, they were laughing, having a good old time. Like
I don't know. Yeah, that's a great question.
Sometimes I wonder, are these guys actually like? Is it just politics? Like just business? And after that is they go out, they talk, whatever the case may be.
Or it's like, what I would liken it unto? Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Okay. What I would liken it unto is a prosecutor and a defense attorney.
Yeah.
Really, they're friends. And especially when it comes to like public defenders versus a prospector.
They just have
the public defender and the prosecutor, they're friends.
Yeah.
Like they are coworkers. They're just they're just always spending every day with each other.
They're just trying to do their job, I guess.
Yeah.
But wouldn't that be strange to have Obama in the office?
Yeah. That'd be.
Yeah.
That'd be funny.
But Joe Biden would be like, "Hey, what's up with me, fuckers?"
No, dude, I don't know how you can have a conversation with Joe Biden sometimes. He has his days. He has his moments where he seems like he's with it, and then there's just times where he's just like, man, he just woke up or something. I don't know. Yeah.
So I'm here.
Yeah. Breathing body.
I'm just here. What's going on? Oh, I'm president?
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's just politics. That's why people get so mad. I don't understand. Yeah, people get so mad about these policies and politics and who's president and who's not. But yet the presidents and the vice presidents and the presidents running against each other, they're all buds, you know?
Yeah.
Outside, I'm sure they don't act like that on camera.
Yeah.
Unless you're Kamala Harris.
Yeah.
It's Kamala Harris. Nobody likes her. But yeah, you're getting upset for no reason.
Really, it's true.
They're starting riots and everything.
Politics is like the worst thing to like hate somebody about, and it's too bad that creates so much division among people.
Yeah,
but
it's always been like that.
It's always had.
Always.
It's gonna continue on like that for many more years.
Yeah, no, it's always been like that. I remember.
Like again, I am engaged to somebody who has a very we're not total opposites. I can tell when we talk about certain things, and when she talks about certain things, we definitely don't see eye to eye on everything.
But she don't kick you out of the house, right?
But you would be surprised. Yeah, exactly. You'd be surprised, what she would say too at times, and you'd be like, oh, that doesn't fit the conventional, rhetoric from that side of politics. So, we see eye to eye on more things than you might think too. So,
right.
But it's
but there's got to be something that triggers people if you don't follow their politics.
Yeah,
because
for sure.
Like I said, since the early 1800s, even since the late 1700s, when the presidents first started.
If you don't immediately agree with some people, it's just like they will jump down your throat faster than you can say what the heck just happened. Because my dad is that way. Where I love my dad, but you definitely don't want to disagree with him.
I hear you. Yeah.
Otherwise, he'll get into it with you, or he'll just be like, you're brainwashed, or something like that. It's really tough with some people to get into the conversation of politics. When
I talk to someone about politics and they're the total opposite, I want them to convince me. Like I truly do. Right.
Yeah.
But when they start talking about nonsense and things that don't make sense, then that's what, of course I'm not going to agree what they're saying. I'm not going to sit there and be like, oh yeah, you're right. Yeah. And then devalue my values. Pretty much, because that's what I believe.
Right.
Why should I shrink myself for somebody that doesn't even know what they're even talking about?
Yeah. No, it's a good point. And a lot of times when people are so sure of themselves, they might not totally understand the situation. Like it all comes down to a lot of times like quotes from your politicians, So like, oh, I heard them say they said this, and my news outlet is this that told me this, So it was it taken out of context? Maybe I need to do some research on that to make sure it wasn't taken out of context. But obviously, a lot of times they don't. 95% of people don't check to see if something was taken out of context when they hear it. 95% of people only listen to their side of the political spectrum in terms of the news they listen to. So, Republicans, if they're going to listen to a major news outlet, they're going to listen to Fox News. Liberals, if they're going to listen to a major news outlet, it's going to be something like there's a
CNN
lot,
or
CNN, MSNBC,
every other one
besides Fox. Yeah, Fox is the only one. Which is funny.
I listen to both.
It is funny that there's literally like only one that you can really say is a Republican news outlet.
And you know what's crazy? You go online and you see what media news is the highest rating. It's Fox.
Fox. Oh, really?
Yeah. It's kind of strange that we're talking about this because not too long ago, a couple of days ago, I won't say who it is, but it's someone that has his own broadcast and whatnot. And I had a back and forth dispute about Trump. And I told him, what he was saying, because he was saying something about Trump.
Oh, you told me.
Yeah,
that
he was causing the fires in Los Angeles and everybody in his page.
Oh, he was blaming Trump for the fires.
Yeah, he was blaming Trump
Angeles.
and he was being misinformant and then just rattling everybody in that page. And they don't know, they just they listen to him and they're like, oh yeah, you're right, and Trump's a piece of shit, he's a coward, and this and that. He's trying to change things, but he if it was anybody else, I probably wouldn't say anything. But he's influencing people with the wrong information.
Yeah.
You know, people listen to him and they look up to him, and
which is interesting. That's kind of
and
funny.
I think that's weird.
Like,
you know?
yeah, that is really weird. Like, why do you want to spread that level of misinformation?
If I say his name, everybody will know who he is.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
He's
everybody.
pretty huge.
Yeah, just locally. You know,
okay.
maybe Magic Valley. And so forth.
Gotcha.
But he was just spreading so much misinformation, and then I looked more on his page. So I was being respectful. I was saying, what you're doing is wrong. You're giving misinformation. You're telling these people something that's not true. And then he comes to me, like history and stuff like that. And I'm like, okay, you want to go to history? Let's go to history. We talked about the history of, the Mexico, and he talked about what a piece of shit move that Trump's changing it to the Gulf of America, which he hasn't done yet.
Yeah.
But we don't know.
Yeah.
And then he was giving misinformation about how New Mexico, that he was going to change it to New America. I'm like, I've never even heard of that. Like, you're just rattling people, and that's how you can start riots and stuff. You start people get.
I heard about the Gulf of America.
Yeah,
so that would be interesting. I heard that Canada too.
Well, they owe $250 billion. Back. They have to pay back.
Yeah,
and this is.
No, I hear people aren't too happy with Justin Trudeau, so maybe
he resigned already.
Maybe they would be on board with it.
Yeah, he resigned.
Oh yeah,
yeah. I don't know who pressured him to resign. But they're receiving money from the U.S., right?
Yeah.
For their military, their economy, and so forth. And why? So when Trump asks, why do you need this money? They say, I don't know. Yeah, you better resign. You better not. Because he knew right off the bat that, what? They're going to come after me.
Yeah.
And that's when Trump said, well, we're pretty much taking care of you guys. Might as well call it a 51st state. And then the crazy part is,
isn't that part of like our relationship with Canada, that we protect them basically, like we our military is basically there as well to defend them as well as our own country. Like, they're basically are part of America,
yes and no.
Without saying they are part of America.
Well, they're close to the border. You don't want Russia and Canada, right?
Yeah.
So you have to pretend like, oh yeah, we're best buds and stuff like that. Same with Mexico. You don't want a bad.
I know. Can you imagine having like a Ukraine-Russia situation though with Canada?
Yeah, United States would just step in. It would have to be stepping in.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, and
we'd probably be doing the same thing Russia is to Ukraine.
Well, they tried it before. Mexico in World War I, Germany was trying to go to Mexico. Trying to have Mexico as an alliance, not because they were trying to be alliance with Mexico, but they wanted that territories to attack the United States. And that's
they were trying to build infrastructure, like military infrastructure in Mexico?
Yeah, like a military base.
Oh, wow.
And
Russia was?
No, Germany in World War II.
Oh.
I'm sorry, World War I.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah, and they were trying to do that, and that's because we didn't want to go to war.
Yeah.
And that's what pushed the button. That's what made us go to war, was because they wanted to go to Mexico.
Pushing. So that makes a lot of sense, though, why Russia started conflict with Ukraine then, to me, because it wasn't like the big initial thing with like why they jumped in on Ukraine was because they were trying to join NATO.
They're trying to join NATO, yeah. And once you join NATO, you can have any of NATO's like air base or military.
So basically, the United States can put military, right? Anybody within the NATO nations could go and build military infrastructure in your nation at that point, right?
Yeah, you can build anything. You can do anything if you're allies.
Yeah.
And so what happened?
Russia was like, oh shit.
During the Kennedy presidency, when Russia tried to do that with Cuba, they tried to have their missile.
So they're
program.
not part of NATO then, Ukraine?
No, and Russia's the reason why they're not part of NATO. Yeah. Okay. Because then there'd be a flat out, even bigger war than what you're looking at right now.
But it must have been close. Like they must have been like in discussions or.
I feel like Russia, if they wanted to take Ukraine, they could have a long time ago, But as soon as NATO, Zelensky goes and says, "I want to be part of the NATO program." Russia's
getting a lot of support from other countries now. So
Russia or Ukraine?
No, Ukraine, because that's why why Russia must be having such a hard time with Ukraine, right?
They are getting a lot of support, especially from the United States, but that's the wrong thing the Biden administration is doing. They're conflicting more conflict amongst and putting us in amongst themselves and with Ukraine. So, because I know a lot of Russians, they don't want to fight. I've seen I watched the Al Jazeera network, and that Al Jazeera network is a lot better than the American network because they actually show like all the raw stuff going on. You know, they show what's actually, and there's soldiers that say,
I'll have to look them up.
Yeah, it's a good news network.
Yeah,
but and this comes down
whole
to Joe
Ukraine
Biden.
and Russia thing's been going on way longer than I thought it would.
Yeah, and that's because of the help that
Yeah.
Ukraine's getting. But Zelensky, I mean, I think what he's doing is a piece of shit move. Really, he's saying, you know what? I need money. I need weapons. I need this. I need all that. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So what does the Biden administration do? They send what, $100 billion? I think that was around that much. You know, for them for their military program.
Yeah,
And I'm like,
that's crazy.
why are we
dude.
doing that?
Yeah,
You know,
out of the taxpayers' butt, man.
Yeah.
that's where that went.
when Trump got reelected, he said that's one of his number one priorities is going to stop that.
Yeah,
We'll see if he does.
yeah.
You know,
Dude, I bet things are gonna get. Hopefully, it's like not to a point of like, you know, like you can't repair that whole situation at this point.
I think you can.
Because man, that started like basically right when Biden got in, almost.
Yeah.
Like maybe like I don't know, within the same year that Biden was in there.
Same year or close. Yeah, close to the same year.
Yeah.
But I mean, when they saw the whole shit show that happened in Afghanistan, the way Biden pulled out military, it was
my gosh.
absolutely ridiculous. And I felt that's when Putin decided, you know what, we're going to do it like this. And the way it happened in Afghanistan, we're hoping it happens over here, and we can just take advantage of that situation.
Yeah.
Because it was horrible. I mean,
Yeah, it was bad.
not one military soldier died under Trump's when they
Yeah.
retrieved soldiers. Not one.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, there's always that story that's going around where he like met with a terrorist leader, right? And
Oh
where
yeah,
he, like,
Abu.
was that who
It was like Abu Adallah or
yeah, something like that, and showed him his house like on like his where he's like, hey, if one American dies during this like period of time or whatever, just know that we know right where you live, and like handed him a picture of his house, and
yeah,
and yeah, nobody died. during
Nobody
that.
died. Yeah, I mean they, and that's
I
why
don't
people-
remember who the other. I think the one that you're talking about, Abu.
Yeah,
have
it
you
was
seen that
him.
Shane Gillis? That Shane Gillis thing where they killed the leader of ISIS. It was
Oh,
like, no. He's like, it was so funny, dude. Because like, I don't know if I've actually watched the actual video of Trump coming out and announcing they killed the leader of ISIS, but he's like Abu. Bilal al-Baghdadi is dead. You know? He died like a dog.
He does a good impersonation.
He was like, I said it's like he's like Abu. He was crying. We said Abu, don't cry.
Actually, I did see it. It was on Kill Tony.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Crybaby or Crybaby Baghdadi. That's what we called him.
Oh God. But yeah, it's just crazy. I think.
Yeah, no, it's insane. It's insane what's going on with the whole Russia, Ukraine, and I do think that Trump's the right guy to come in and try to clean that mess.
That's
up.
why they hate him, dude.
Yeah,
That's why they hate
I
him.
don't know why. I mean,
You wonder why? Because he
hey,
takes
if
over.
by the end of his election and that stuff's resolved, you better give him credit.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, I mean, we'll see. I mean, he has a shit show to fix.
It's a huge region. Yeah, exactly. I wouldn't be surprised if it's not resolved because how badly he walked into a totally fucked up situation with the whole Ukraine-Russia thing.
Right.
You know,
yeah.
so relations with Russia and Ukraine are all like freaking. It's a mess. You know, it's a
mess that Biden did.
Yeah.
And Kamala Harris. I
it's
mean, remember
ugly.
Kamala Harris was the last one out in the room. Remember?
Yeah. Right, exactly. She wouldn't have done anything different, guys.
Yeah, she wouldn't do anything different.
Yeah.
Just go to war.
Yeah.
But you know what? I'm really curious to see what's going to happen. Not only the inauguration that's going to be this Monday coming up, right? But Trump gave Hamas till the 20th to release the hostage. Or did you hear what he said? They're going to be held to pay.
Yeah. No, I didn't hear that. Is he?
And Hamas has not attacked Israel since the re-election of Donald Trump.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
Yeah, that is crazy. And
I mean, it's only been a month or whatever. I don't know how often they do it, but it hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, I would like to see just how much like conflicts happen. You know, now that how much new conflicts begin. Let's just look at that. How about how much new conflict begins now that Donald Trump is back in office? Let's just see how, because the biggest issues that I feel like happened during Donald Trump's presidency, when he was president, was the whole thing just with like random stuff that was out of his control within different states. You know, I would say that probably one of the biggest things was the George Floyd thing.
Yeah.
Which was
COVID.
COVID, totally outside of his power to control. And I don't think that he did like a terrible job with COVID. Obviously,
It could have been a lot worse.
yeah, it could have been a lot worse. A lot of people would say it's like, oh, he didn't do enough or something like that. Well, we weren't in the situation of make the choices. Say,
But what can he do, really? Exactly. If you really think, what do you want?
And they did
come
say
up with
already that the response, and a lot of people said already the response that was to COVID they had were like government shutdowns and totally stopping economies and things like that. The reaction to the virus was worse than the virus itself.
Yeah. Well, it's the media. It's the media needs those ratings. The media needs people to follow and watch.
Yeah.
I mean, how else are they going to get? And, I heard this the other day that the media is actually going down and podcasts are going up because there's no censorship in podcasts. I mean, you can't do nothing about it.
I rarely listen to major news outlets anymore.
Same.
Like it's
the only one, like
crazy.
Al Jazeera, because it's not from the United States.
Yeah.
But there should be some kind of law that you cannot spread misinformation.
Yeah.
There's got to be. Like I was saying earlier about this guy. Spreading misinformation the way he was doing. And every time I would, and I was being respectful and I was talking to him, right? And he would just laugh at every comment. He goes, "You must be one of them people." I'm like, "No, I'm not in the LGBTQ community, but if that's what you're saying,
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, like I would come up with some facts on certain things, like the history of Mexico is absolutely beautiful. Are you aware of the history of Mexico or anything like that?
Not entirely.
We definitely have to do an episode on the history of Mexico.
Is like
with the Mayans.
Because
we're talking about the Gulf of Mexico.
Probably a mixture between the Mayans and Spain, right?
Oh yeah,
and that's like where most Mexican heritage comes from is like Mayan and Spain.
Yeah, well, there were several indigenous tribes in Mexico.
Yeah,
and the rituals were absolutely brutal, right?
Oh yeah,
so bad that the Spaniards had to interfere.
A
lot of human sacrifices, but that's what they believed, though. The times were different back then. They didn't know any better.
No.
That's just what they believe. I know there was human sacrifices on children that they would collect the tears of the children, and they're murdering these kids, collecting the tears and offering them to the rain god.
Oh wow!
Yeah, they would do crazy stuff like that. So I just think it was absolutely nuts what was happening.
Yeah,
but
that was that time too. That was.
But what I was telling this guy is the Gulf of Mexico.
Yeah.
Actually never belonged to Mexico. It was actually to the indigenous people here in the United States. And then once the indigenous people had it, Spain took over. Because Spain was part of that colony with Mexico, where Mexico was.
Yeah.
And Texas and so forth. In the beginning, and then there's wars, and that's a different story. But that was part of Spain, right?
Yeah.
And then Mexico took it from them after Spain retreaed.
Was there like a Mexico-Spanish war? Or like that?
I'm sure. Back in the early 1800s, mid 1700s, it was all about the wars. Even during the conquistadors, they had wars.
Oh yeah,
with Spain.
Yeah, and even before that, with the indigenous tribes, you got to get that. Yeah, you're good. You're good. With the indigenous tribes and stuff like that, you probably had all kinds of different tribes going to war with each other, and that territory was constantly changing hands of which tribe owned what during that time. So you never, it was always, up to grabs with different nations. That's how land works. It's like people go to war and it it changes hands all the time. So, the Aztecs owned it for a little bit, then the Mayans came in or something like that. I don't know. I'm just giving an example. There's a lot. I don't think
any land belonged to anybody. At this time nowadays.
Like, quote unquote, belonged, right? It's like what land really belongs to anybody. It's like, they're only occupying it for a time,
right?
Really.
Probably in 1,000 years, who knows?
Who knows?
If Brazil's going to be Brazil, if, Greenland's already supposed to called Trumpland already. Did you hear about that? No. He wants to acquire Greenland.
Yeah, I saw like a map thing of like how many different areas of the world are just gonna be America, but just go like Peru will be Americu or something. Americu.
Americu.
Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be funny.
I don't know if that would be good. I mean,
Yeah, I don't know.
That'd be
I don't know
crazy,
either.
but-
Yeah, it'd be. It kind of makes America look bad. I feel like if they're acquiring all this land.
now you're talking about Hitler status because that's what Hitler tried to do.
That's what Hitler wanted to do. Yeah, exactly.
You want all
But,
Europe to be Germany.
You know, I would not be surprised. You know, within 1,000 years, maybe even sooner. I don't know if that we're within. There's a one world government.
you think
know?
so?
Yeah.
Oh man, I don't know. That'd be crazy to think about.
I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised. And, you know, by that time, you know, everybody might be happy about that.
Yeah.
You know, who knows? Everybody might be like in agreement with something like that. You know, where we can all doesn't it sound nice where everybody's under one nation and like that we can be.
You know how many civil wars there's going to be? I mean,
Right,
human
sure,
beings are
sure.
just they're
Yeah.
prone to being war.
Yeah.
Wars not heroes, but war. I mean, war is just in their blood. We've had
Yeah.
war since the civilization of our own time.
You know, maybe something happens where we kind of are able to get rid of that type of conflict in the future. I don't know. I don't know what that would be, but because how do you get rid of corruption? You know, corruption is going to be inherent within every type of society, no matter what, one world government or several.
You get rid of corruption by three things. You
Mm.
take away power, you take away money, and then you take away race.
Mm.
That's the only way I feel there will be no such thing as corruption.
So a one world government, so everyone's born under one nation. So
Yeah.
that's race right there.
Or nationality, I shouldn't say
Nationality.
race. Yeah, nationality.
Nationality.
Yeah.
Yeah, either way. You know, so you have a one world government, everyone's born under the same flag. Money, when would you ever be able to get rid of that?
But wouldn't the economy go down?
With what? With no
Because you
money?
have no tariffs to charge anybody. You have
right.
no.
Yeah, maybe.
You have no. You'd have to. I mean, I don't know how that. I don't think that would work because you'd just have.
Yeah.
There'd be civil war nonstop.
It would probably be more like how the United States runs, you know, where we have states and that each state is different.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's different laws in different states, even though we operate under a federal law as well as state law.
Mhm.
And I feel like that's probably what would happen. There's going to be like an empirical law,
But-
but then there's going to be a territorial law as well.
The United States has great history, but the culture. I mean, there's more. I think for me, in my own opinion, like the Mexican culture is really beautiful. Portuguese culture, Russian culture. So
Yeah.
if you make it under one nation, I
Yeah.
think the culture will die alone itself, and it would be pretty
Mhm.
plain.
Yeah.
Don't you think?
No, I do think so.
I mean, the cuisine would be a hamburger and fries.
No, I think a lot of that stuff will probably like carry over too. You know, history will still be there.
So
We'll still
that's what
under-
makes it impossible then, because now people can be fighting for their culture, and then their generation,
Yeah.
and then that generation's going to do it, and they're going. So
It's
I
true.
think it'd be nearly impossible.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of nations that like
So I know what you're saying. Like
Yeah.
instead of fighting over land, just make it one big government, right?
yeah.
But I think like
Well, I'm not and I don't know if that I want that. You know, I'm just saying. I think that's like almost like where. Well, let's just say to get rid of war. That's almost like where it's headed. Where a big war is going to happen, and we're headed towards a big war. You know, don't get me wrong. I don't care who's in office or how much peace there is or whatever.
Yeah.
There's gonna be a big war eventually. We're living in a time though right now where conflict, like large scale conflict, like World War, like what we've had in the past with like World War I and World War II, like that doesn't happen often.
Yeah.
And it's only happened once or twice within like the real recent histories. But I don't think that it's an impossibility, and I do believe it's an inevitability that it's going to happen.
I feel like World War I, World War II. I mean, even the Civil War, they lost just as many people. I mean, I might be exaggerating a little, or maybe 1 million. And this is just Civil War here in the United States when they had the Confederate against the
which
Republicans.
is a lot of people.
It's a lot of people.
And especially when you go by whatever, I don't know, the world population at that time was not nearly what it is now.
No.
Was
I
it
mean,
even 1 billion?
in the United States, or because Civil War is just in the United States, is
Yeah.
against the
Yeah.
uh,
And in the United, so like, because like I'm sure, because what is the United States population now is like somewhere between 300 million and 350 million or something
somewhere
like that.
around there.
And so 1 million though back in 1850 or whatever it was, 1860.
1860.
Yeah.
I think it was 1862, 1863.
So it was much smaller. We were still like barely. We weren't even 100 years old as a nation at that point.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, because Declaration of Independence came out, what, 1776?
Yeah.
Yeah, we weren't even 100 years old.
Yeah.
And to have a war
civil
and
war
fought
like
like that,
that,
yeah. That was pretty brutal.
And with like we just barely got through with what Great Britain, like
Yeah.
trying to like gain our independence from Great Britain. You know.
Oh yeah, the
that's-
Revolution. Well, that was like
Yeah.
early 1800s, the Revolutionary
Yeah.
War. But I feel like the Civil War was the last era of like, because after the Civil War, that's when the technology started kicking in.
Yeah.
You know, you had like submarines, you had
Yeah.
certain, because they would fight with their musk and they would have
The
like
muskets.
the sharp edge and that's it.
Yeah.
And then you'd have to reload after every shot.
Yeah. Now you have like repeating rifles.
Yeah,
later,
exactly.
and you
So
get-
technology changes, and that's another thing that I look at that I don't think war will ever end. Is because how much money do these people make when there is a
Oh,
war?
yeah. So
You know,
much.
so
Yeah.
much money.
Yeah. What they call the military industrial complex. You know,
Yeah.
It's a real thing.
It is. No, yeah, I believe
Yeah.
it. I think that
it's
is 100%.
Yeah. And there's a lot of evil people within that would, create war just to maintain a profit.
Yeah.
That happens all the time. That's what they say. The whole thing with us going to war during the Bush administration was a lot of that was to do with the military industrial complex and oil and things like that.
There's a big
Yeah,
mix up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's kind of odd that they didn't find Bin Laden until Barack Obama hit presidency.
Right.
So George Bush could have done something about it because it was in 2011, and
Yeah.
Barack Obama went in office, I believe, 2014,
Yeah.
2016.
Yeah, I think that they wanted to find Bin Laden, but they were like, "This is really giving us an excuse to do the things we always wanted to do too."
Yeah.
Which was like to get the oil. I do think they wanted natural resource. I think they wanted, but even now though, like, do we have more oil because of that?
No,
No. It's like
but
so. It's like
there is a huge conspiracy on that because
yeah,
Iraq that was attacked, right? Because that's when they dethroned Saddam Hussein, but had nothing to do with 9/11. I mean, what is the United States doing in Iraq when it was Syria, Afghanistan, all their military bases were there, all their, their training. That's where they're getting their weapons. That's where the mastermind, supposedly Bin Laden, set out to do 9/11, right? Had nothing to do with Iraq. But during the Desert Storm in 91, 92, Saddam Hussein tried to assassinate George Bush Sr., and he was really close to doing it.
oh really?
So
What year was that?
Desert Storm. It was 91.
During Desert Storm.
Yeah,
oh
during
yeah.
the Desert Storm, he tried to assassinate, and he was
Really?
super close to assassinating
What?
George Bush Sr.
Oh, I didn't hear that.
So I feel like George Bush,
on my history.
his son, it was kind of like a revenge tactic to be like, you know what, you try to kill my dad, then we're gonna go after you and dethrone you. And it was also part of maybe he was afraid of getting assassinated the same way, and that was because of an oil deal gone wrong.
I see.
Yeah, and so that's why he turned to Bin Laden, and well, not just Bin Laden, his organization,
An
his
oil
family.
deal gone wrong between George
Sen-
Bush Sr.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
really?
with Iraq,
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
and I don't think it was Saddam Hussein that was
Like
doing the oil.
like George Bush Sr. tried to do something shady or something like that, or
It's I mean, I don't know. It's unclear. I'm not gonna say.
or
I know.
vice versa.
Yeah. All I know is that it went wrong. Tried to get assassinated, and that's why George Bush.
But there is evidence to support there was
Yes.
like some like type of deal going on.
Yeah, and that's why he didn't go after Bin Laden because he couldn't because of he made like a treaty pact with Bin Laden, and it's not Bin Laden. His dad was a multi-millionaire, if not billionaire organization, and he was in the oil business. Same with the George Bushes. You know, they were all in oil business. So there is a conspiracy there.
Yeah. The whole and they said that they did kill Bin Laden.
Yeah, they killed Bin Laden. They, I guess,
Burial at sea.
they just threw him off the sea, and I feel they did that in fear that if they would get targeted or maybe a missile will go after because they
Yeah.
know that's where the body's at.
Yeah.
So they just dropped them and split, which makes sense to me. I mean, you're not going to drag his body all the way over here in fear that people know where they're at.
Yeah. It seemed to be pretty well accepted, I guess. It doesn't seem
Well,
like it
yeah.
like it wasn't Like he's not that is what happened. It's generally accepted.
After that 9/11 deal,
yeah.
I think he got it off easy. You know, it took him.
Oh no,
a
for
while.
sure, no, definitely. I was just like under the impression like could they have faked that wasn't actually Bin Laden? They just said they buried him at sea.
No, because
there was no images of his body right?
No, yeah, no, there was. They had a camera.
Are they?
Yeah,
Oh,
they had like a body cam.
Oh,
and
really?
Yeah, they have it all, and they went into his home.
Is that public?
I don't know. That's a good question. I would have to check and see if it is public. You'd probably have to look because I know they did a documentary on it, and they had body cam.
Yeah.
But I can't remember. And I know they showed up Bin Laden. He was in his bedroom or whatever, and then I saw that they shot him. But after that, you know, they don't show anything where they took the body or anything like that. So, yeah, that is super interesting.
Yeah, I remember my nephew, or not my nephew, my cousin, because he worked on like a nuclear sub for a little while.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
and he called us once during like a holiday season, and I talked to him for a little while about that. It was like right like a week after or something like that, and he was like, "Yeah, it was like literally like 10 years." Almost.
Yeah. You got
like
off of
right
it for
after,
10 years.
Yeah. After 9/11. Yeah.
You're going to tell me a president of the United States can't catch somebody anywhere in the world and it takes him longer than 10 years? It took Obama, the first, maybe second year of his administration?
Right.
So, there is a huge conspiracy.
I know, because I think that they were looking for him too, like in all the wrong places too. Where did they find Bin Laden? Was it in Israel?
I think it was Syria. They found him in Syria, but I could be wrong. I would have to.
Yeah, because I know that they were like,
or it could be Afghanistan.
Because I know like the government wherever they found him was like, no, he's not here, and then they knew he was there though.
Really?
And they went in without permission and got him.
Oh yeah. You're talking about the Navy SEALs that went in there. Yeah. Oh yeah, they didn't wait. They saw him and attacked.
They knew he was there. Yeah.
Kudos to them, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, those guys are the real heroes.
Mm-hmm.
But after that 9/11 attack, I mean, what do you think they would have done to him, to Osama bin Laden, if they did bring him to the States?
If he got here, oh man.
I mean, he would have got the death penalty. That's for sure.
Well, for sure. But like, what would he have even made it to? The lethal injection. I don't know. Yeah.
They should have just stoned his ass. All of America just beat the crap out of him.
Yeah. Right in freaking.
Because that's what they do over there. They stone. I mean, it's so sad to see the way they treat women in the Middle East.
Yeah, there was like a woman who was like a professed Christian or something, and they like killed her. And like, there's like a video of like the mob trying to get to her. The police were able to get them away from her for a little while. And like,
here in the United States, or
no, it was somewhere in the Middle East. Yeah, it's crazy. It's really sad.
Have you ever seen that Gaddafi video?
I don't think so.
Yeah, he had like a whole town just drag him down the street, right? And this is dirt road, and they're just pounding him, beating the shit. And it's online. You can go ahead and take a look at it. But it's absolutely brutal, dude. Yeah, it is brutal.
Yeah.
So, and that's the whole thing. Also with Hillary Clinton, did you see? There was I don't know if it was Secretary of Defense. I forgot his name. Damn it! But he was an American ambassador, and the people from Syria. I'll have to look into it. But it was in the Middle East. They dragged his body, and they were recording it the whole time, and they're kicking him and beating him. And after 10 minutes, you didn't even recognize him. They raped him.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, they did everything. And the whole thing with Hillary Clinton's, they knew about it, and she didn't do anything about it. They said, did you ever hear about the whole email files that they were sent? And shit? That was part of. I think it was Gaza. I think it was Gaza.
Because. And something to do with the emails got a bunch of like American soldiers killed, right?
Yeah, and they got a bunch of American killed. And this lady knew the whole time about it and didn't do anything about it. Why? That start a war, maybe? I don't know. What was the purpose not doing anything about that?
Yeah, she was probably protecting some type of foreign interest that.
Oh. Yeah, you're probably right on the money right there.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
You want another drink, Thomas?
Maybe just a little bit. Maybe just a little. Twist my arm. No. Yeah, it's a messed up world politics, man. Like that's good.
Yeah, politics is just it's messed up. And
it's a dirty business, man.
We probably know 20% about it too.
Or less.
Or less.
Yeah. It's insane. I would like to see like the I know they released a bunch of JFK files,
Oh, yeah.
to do with JFK like back in 2017, but they not all of it or something like that. I don't think they released all of it due to national security. They say
We're not going to talk about that because that's
not
going to
yet.
be in
that's
our,
going to be the next time.
the
but
next
just
here in
to-
our episodes coming
just to
soon.
just to give a little bit of a taste, though. That's what we're going to go over all that.
Yeah.
But definitely, there's a lot of stuff we don't know. A lot of stuff that's remained hidden. For what reasons? Who
That's
knows?
what we want to know is
Yeah, we want
what's
to
the
know
reason?
why. What is the reason? Yeah,
Yeah.
They're trying to protect, foreign interest in some way. They're trying to protect, maybe some type of private company interests.
You're absolutely right about that because there's companies that have godly amount of money, like billions and billions of dollars, and someone like Hillary Clinton, right? That they say, you know what? If you release those email files, you're going to expose our company and whatnot. Here's $50 million.
Yeah.
And she'd be like,
Exactly.
turn the other way around.
Yeah.
And that's why people hate Trump. Because if they say, hey, here's $50 million, dude's a billionaire. He don't give a fuck.
Yeah. Exactly.
You know what I mean? He doesn't
It's
care.
like, I don't have something called the Clinton Foundation. That's what is that supposed to be? A fucking that's supposed to be a charity, organization or something
While
like that. The
actually,
Clinton Foundation.
it's supposed to be a charity. While the Clintons take like 40% of that.
Hell
And
yeah.
most foundations do that. you
yeah,
know?
yeah.
And we were talking about earlier about donating, and that bothers me that you donate to people who need it, but the foundation takes their percent
A huge
for
percentage,
a
yeah.
huge percent.
Yeah, I totally dislike. I'm not for those type of things, like the GoFundMe stuff,
Yeah.
and everything like that.
They even want a tip.
Yeah, fuck that, dude.
I'm like, a tip for what?
It's like just set up a Venmo and tell me what your Venmo or something like that.
Yeah, put money in a
And,
cookie jar and
anytime like I have like somebody's close to us that's had a member of their family pass or something, it's like set up a Venmo. Don't set up a GoFundMe. Don't set up any of that stuff. You're gonna lose 20% or more. In that way. So you
GoFundMe is in the millions of dollars.
yeah
In the from people
easily yeah.
people just donating.
Yeah.
And it sucks because there's a lot of people that do need it. If I try to, I'm not gonna say I do it all the time or whatever, but sometimes I'll be like, would you like to donate to the Ronald McDonald House? I'll do it because the Ronald McDonald House, they help a lot of children.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they help, and the St. Jude's, they help a lot of children,
Sure.
right?
Yeah.
And that's a nonprofit organization.
Yeah.
I'll do that, but if
St. Luke's is a nonprofit organization, but I don't believe they're nonprofit too.
no, I've seen their offices. They're a nonprofit, but again, I can be wrong. Maybe the Ronald McDonald or the St. Jude's do, and I understand. Doctors need to get paid, and that.
Yeah, exactly.
But for the foundation to be millionaires, like multimillionaires and stuff, and whoever who's running it should ride in a private jet. Like, no, that's wrong.
It is.
What about, have you ever remember those back in the day? I haven't seen it in a while, but they have a commercials like, oh, donate $20 a month for these kids in Africa. This was like in the early 90s.
Oh, I see. I mean, like the infomercial stuff that you see all the time.
Yeah, Sarah
about it?
McLachlan. Remember? In the arms of an angel.
Yeah.
You remember that?
Yeah.
Dude, they're still the same. This
yeah.
is like 30 years later.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm not
Because
surprised.
the government, oh, you want a bag of rice? Throw them a bag of rice. And then the government takes everything from them.
Yeah. It's sad.
It's
It is
absolutely
messed up.
horrible.
Yeah, it's terrible.
No
Yeah,
self-conscious of like nothing. No. Oh man, I'd feel bad. I really would. I'd be like, damn, these people are sleeping on the floor while I'm over here, and this money doesn't even go to me. It's supposed to go to them, but I'm taking a certain percent.
Yeah. No, for sure.
And I understand, like,
it's terrible.
they're doing an organization. They need to make a living. Okay,
Yeah.
but there's
Again,
no reason to
corruption.
have.
In money, there's always corruption. I don't care what your organization
Yeah.
is.
There always
So,
be. Money is the
And,
root
like,
of all
I don't,
evil.
and then not that everybody in that organization. Maybe there's people at the very top, who are like genuine and good people. But then there's also, you're not the only one at the very top of that organization, and I'm sure
No.
that there is some type of corruption happening. Someone's skimming some numbers, or somebody's skimming off the top of that, and there's always something. So it's really tough to want to like give to charity. I'd rather honestly like help my own community go out in like every once a month or once every 6 months or something like that, and give away free food or something like that to the community in some fashion. I don't know. Remember I was talking about I wanted to do like a hot dog thing, like in a park or something like that. You like some like I don't know how. It's
No, you never told me that. You want to do a hot dog
oh.
thing? What is it?
I wanted to do like a free hot dog thing in the park or something like
Just
that.
for people to
just
show
for
up?
anybody who wanted it. Yeah, like buy like, hot dogs are cheap, buy like 300, 400, 500 hot dogs or something, and have like a couple, like 3 or 4 grills set out, get a couple.
What would you do with the money?
People. No, they would be.
Free.
It would be
like,
free food.
Oh, I see. I thought you were like charging them to get in the park.
No.
Just to feed the
like
needy?
be set up or something like that right there, and just like have like a cooler with your food, with my stuff in it. Have like 4 to 5 grills set up with just like a slew of hot dogs going, and anybody who came up, have somebody maybe out like near the street with a sign saying free hot dog over here or something like that, and doing like, and for no reason other than just to like have to give to the community in some way.
I like to donate like coats for kids, because and it's because I really look at it as like it's not really the kid's fault that they don't have a coat. It's more the parent not being responsible. Yeah. And they can't steal that, and the parent can't do nothing with it.
There's no like it's just a coat. You're not giving like money to somebody. You're giving like a coat. That's no big deal.
During this holiday season, actually here in town here, police department was stopping people and acting like they were giving them tickets, but they're giving them money.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they stopped my mom and gave her $400.
What?
They said that there's a guy in the community that's donating all this money to the community, pretty much. He was unanimous.
That is so cool.
And I'm like, that was a great idea.
That is.
I want to know who this guy is. Shout out to him.
They should do that like on a regular basis, not like on maybe not like all the time. I mean, it'd be great, but I mean, just like do that.
He might be doing
it. Yeah, just to build, good
unity and
good relationship between the community and the police, and just with each other too. It would be a good thing to have a lot of that type of charity going on.
Right.
That's not really tied to any one organization specifically or anything like that.
Yeah.
Where nobody's really gaining from that outside of the average person getting like a free meal or something like that.
Yeah. No, and it's I think if you have it, obviously some people they can't, and that's understandable. But people who can and donate, or it's kind of like I believe in karma a lot.
Yeah.
In the Bible, it says, leave to Caesar what's Caesar's and leave what's God's. And when he says that, he's talking about the coin, the money, right? So what I got from that is, it's better to be a good person, more spiritual person, and don't worry about the money. If you can help, pretty much. Yeah. I don't know if that makes sense, but the money doesn't run the world. But unfortunately, in this time of any time of human civilization, since even the Roman times, it was all about money.
Yeah, it still is.
And that's why there's corruption.
Yeah, it's still, and it is now even today. So we want to say that we're doing better and all that stuff. I don't know that we really are. I think we're doing better from like a humanitarian standpoint, in terms of like, slavery is not a thing, which is nice, which throughout all of human history, except for the last, I don't know, 150, 200 years, human slavery is not a thing anymore.
Since like 1863.
Yeah. So
Civil War. And I think Civil War ended actually 1865.
1865.
Yeah. Okay. Because Lincoln got killed 68. Maybe it was later after that, but it was around that time.
So yeah, 150 years.
Which is that's not a long time.
That's not a long time at all, dude. So, we're
and it didn't end there either. Like a lot of the people from the South that were black slaves, they actually joined the military in hopes that the United States would be like, you're free men, and they wanted to win the war, obviously, because that's what the whole Confederate War, Civil War was all about, was the abolishment of slavery. But when they assassinated Abraham Lincoln, Andrew Johnson took over, and he wanted to, that was his vice president, right? And he wanted to take over and reverse the law.
Right.
He wanted slavery to go back.
It's crazy.
Yeah, that's absolutely crazy. And that's because the economy, it's all about the economy,
Yeah.
If you put in now money of how much cotton and agriculture and stuff that slavery worked, you'd be in the millions, bro. Maybe billions. I'm not going to lie. Like worth of cotton and and coal and whatever they use, agriculture that they use for slavery. Millions.
Yeah. So I mean, those industries just didn't go away right away with like slavery.
Nah, you
leaving.
had the civil rights.
You probably had like, okay, well now we're just paying you like a more honest
low salary.
wage, and you can leave it, or you can do it, or you don't have to. There's probably a lot of people that stayed doing that work, that type. But now I'm actually getting paid for it, and I'm actually, I can make a living doing that.
I believe black people weren't allowed to vote till 1901.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
really?
it's
I thought
not
it
that
was
long
even.
ago.
I thought it was even later than that.
Yeah, it could be. Let's see here. I'm trying to think. Yeah, because during World War,
was it?
It's on the 15th Amendment.
Yeah. Were they able to vote before Martin Luther King?
Before?
Yeah.
Yeah, they could have voted. Yeah, they could have.
I thought that was part of the whole.
Well, that was
civil
equal rights.
movement.
Yeah, because they had like colored bathrooms, colored restaurants.
Yeah, all that stuff was still a thing.
And that's another conspiracy of JFK. He wanted to reunite that because that was going on during that time. And every activist that tries to reunite, they always get assassinated. Abraham Lincoln.
Yeah.
Martin Luther King. Malcolm X. It's just JFK. It's absolutely insane.
Yeah.
Why
it's crazy.
People can't just get along, but it's a different time, different era. We look at slavery differently than they looked at it back in the 1700s.
Yeah, for sure.
To them, they're like, it's not a big deal, and to us, we're like, wow, that's messed
totally
up.
Evil thing.
Yeah, it's totally
evil thing. Now, but back then, it was like this is just normal, and it's always been like this, and this is how the world works.
Yeah, that's exactly it. I think I mentioned it before about Thomas Jefferson. He ended up, when his wife passed away, he ended up getting with the wife's sister, right? And she was half black, half white, and ended up having 6 children with her.
Oh wow!
Yeah, 6 children, and they were slaves.
Oh, really?
This is his own. This is a third president of the United States, right? But it was a very complex moment because they're black. And they're in his eyes, it's about slavery. It's about he didn't think about abolishing. Like, these are my kids.
Yeah,
that's how cruel it was back then, I guess.
For real.
So I think
totally. I think that like they were,
and even when he passed away, he did not free. Like he did not give them their papers to be free.
Oh,
that's absolutely insane.
Yeah.
And there were 6 of them.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But
so sad.
In history books, a lot of historians say that he loved his children. He cared for them. So, and it's very complex. It's like, so why would he do that? But like we're just saying, slavery then was a little different. The way we look at it. Yeah,
exactly. It was looked at completely differently. And what we look at as evil now was not evil back then. A lot of it's very subjective what evil was. What evil.
Same thing.
Even what evil is. I think that like there's people who are we're going to be. We all. Agree, you and I, slavery is evil. Absolutely. There's other things that we would agree upon, I'm sure, that are evil. Those things were those things evil 200 years ago? Absolutely not.
Yeah. In their eyes. Yeah, the more I read about slavery,
it was evil inherently.
Yeah.
At that time. I'm going to say absolutely, and I would say, unequivocally. But from the worldview standpoint of the majority of the world, there's so much that was not evil to them.
And that's just how they grew up, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, the more I learn about slavery, several books that I've read about it, like we talked about Frederick Douglass before. It feels like slavery's still not done but we have a different form of slavery now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's human trafficking still going on, right?
Oh, sure.
There's the women in the Middle East. I mean, Saudi Arabia, huge country, right? Mm-hmm. Huge country, very profitable country, a rich country. Mm-hmm. And women weren't allowed to drive till like 2016.
Oh, wow.
Right? There's women in Afghanistan that, if their hijab, or I don't know exactly what it's called, falls off by accident, the wind blows it or something, she gets stoned to death. Stupid shit like that. Yeah. So in some forms, and
better get some safety clips.
To them, in their eyes, that's normality,
Yeah, it's crazy.
And to us, it's like, whoa, like what the hell?
Insanity.
That's what's great about this country.
Oh yeah.
You know, can you imagine if we still live like that? And a lot of people, and I have a buddy of mine that we talk about this, and he says that they want to. People say, "Oh, well, this country is, it's a piece of shit. This and that, blah blah." I've heard people say on comments that instead of California, the whole country should burn and stuff like that. And it's like you have no idea how good you have it here. I mean, I'm not saying it's the greatest and nothing's ever going to happen. There's no crime. There's going to be crime anywhere you go, regardless.
Sure. Yeah.
But the freedom,
I think like the level of opportunity that you have as an individual is second to none here.
And that's why people want to come here.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's progressed, since the 1700s, since abolishing slavery, women's rights, and so forth. But there's still a lot more to improve.
Yeah.
And you can't just do that over time. It's going to take hundreds of years.
Yes.
You got to change the mind one at a time.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what it'll be like too in 100 years, man. It'll be a lot different. I feel like.
It's
a lot different now.
Sucks we're not going to be able to
know,
see. Or maybe you'll freeze yourself. I don't know.
Maybe we'll have some crazy advances in medical technology where we double life expectancy or something like that. Who knows?
Maybe
they say that that's a thing. They say that aging is just something that is actually something that we recognize. We see what happens when cells, they suddenly turn a switch and like cell death occurs and stuff, and that's what aging is. Is like your cells just suddenly stop replicating as quickly as they're dying. Right. So if they can stop that from happening, they just keep your cells, to keep renewing faster than they die. I would feel like essentially live forever. Would anybody want to live forever? I don't know if that's actually possible. In the biblical era, in biblical times, in the Bible, people were living, 900 years regularly. So maybe we'll figure that out.
Damn it!
Yeah.
Where's the aliens?
How did we lose that? Yeah, I don't know.
What if they took like our atoms from our body and just transformed it and make an artificial body?
Maybe, and put out just our memories into that.
Our memories, our atoms create our cells anyway.
Yeah. It's possible. Maybe that's what.
I think we talked about this before. How are the stars? Once they die, they burst, and they throw all these atoms out, right? Mm-hmm. And the same atoms that we have in our bodies, and it's like 80% of our bodies of those atoms. And those stars, they're rebirth. They just
was that Carl Sagan quote that we're made from like star stuff?
Yeah,
whatever. The carbon from like exploding stars is still in our bodies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, but I don't know how small. I mean, they can't even. I don't know if they can transfer blood cells yet. You think they can? Because if they can, there should be a cure for cancer then.
Oh, I'm sure there's a cure for cancer.
You think so?
Yeah. Why would they want to cure cancer though?
Yeah, they make a lot of money, huh?
Yeah, they do.
But still,
we're talking about the military industrial complex. What about the pharmaceutical industrial complex?
Oh, don't even get me started there. But it's there's possibilities. I mean, there is possibilities that we can live longer than 100 years.
Yeah.
If they can figure out, maybe they can have an AI figure it out.
Maybe.
Yeah,
maybe.
Did you hear about what happened with ChatGPT?
When they tried to shut it off, or when they tried to or when they were making a new ChatGPT?
No. So ChatGPT thought they updated their ChatGPT, but ChatGPT thought that they were gonna delete its and it somehow
tried to replicate
itself over and over again. I'm like, what the fudge?
Yeah, if that doesn't show some type of sentience, some type of like self-awareness. That's scary, man.
That's super scary.
Some Skynet stuff, Terminator shit.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And you know what's crazy? Why isn't this all over the news? We got drones all over the news, but ChatGPT is trying to recreate itself again, and no one gives a damn about it. Like, that's
once
crazy.
There's an AI infrastructure going on, oh man, I can't imagine.
Unless the government doesn't want you to know that happened, and that just linked out by accident.
Maybe so. It's possible.
Yeah, because if they obviously they're going to install some kind of chip. I don't know if it'll be ChatGPT, call it somewhere else, some kind of neural link into an AI that the AI is going to have some sort of consciousness that's going to be like, you know what? I don't want to die. Yeah. So I'm going to just reprogram myself and keep doing it. And then you have the whole flat out war with AI.
Yeah.
Because now after a couple, you can't control it.
Yeah. It wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me. And we get afraid of it, and we try to stop it, and we won't be able to stop it. It's too far along. The infrastructure's too great. And Terminator, bro, it's coming.
Yeah.
Then it's gonna be the Matrix.
Get in the chopper.
Yeah. There was like some type of there was like this lady who was suing the people who made the Matrix because she, I think she wrote the Matrix and they stole it from her. I can't remember.
Really?
Yeah, and it was supposed to be. It was a really cool premise too, actually, where she had merged because I think she may have wrote or she may have had a hand. I don't know. You'll have to look it up, but she was merging the Matrix scripts with the Terminator script. So John Connor in the Terminator was somehow like part of the Matrix as well, like with Neo and everything like that.
Really?
You know, with like, and that the Terminator was like the Matrix was pretty much the ultimate fate of humanity from the Terminator universe. It became like these human farms and stuff like that, where machines are harnessing humans for their power because there was no sunlight anymore because of a nuclear fallout from when humans tried to stop machines. They set off a whole bunch of nukes, which didn't end up working to destroy the machines, and et cetera, et cetera.
That just goes like, whew.
Right.
I can't comprehend.
Yeah.
All that
Oh,
machines are going to recreate, and
you should look that lady up. She was suing because she wrote the scripts and like the Wachowski brothers or whoever it was that wrote the Matrix, or quote unquote wrote the Matrix, stole her story and stole her
I'll
script.
definitely have to check it out.
But that whole thing, the Terminator and the Matrix and everything like and other, you know, sci-fi stories like that, I don't feel like fall far from possibility.
Right.
You know, like with AI, when we're talking about AI and what AI could mean in the future. Yeah. Obviously, the timelines are a little bit more farther into the future, maybe than what Terminator said, but maybe more like on a Matrix.
Yeah, because I'm waiting for a flying car. Back to the Future says 2015.
Right? We haven't seen squat about that.
We just seen flying drones. That's about it.
Yeah, I mean, those things are coming, and we see those things like people want to are always like tinkering and making little new inventions like that. But I don't think that we'll ever see like commercial flying cars where the average person.
We probably won't, but maybe.
Unless it's totally autonomous, you know, like totally autonomous.
Like the internet.
Like I don't need a freaking pilot's license to own a flying car. It's an autonomous.
And then costs like 50 G's to have it.
It's an autonomous vehicle, and it's, you know, it just flies itself because I can't be trusted with a freaking airplane, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I can barely drive, let alone fly it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but... Well, Thomas, it was a good talk here.
No, it was great,
yeah,
bro.
You have anything else to say?
No, I appreciate, you know, anybody listening and supporting us by, you know, just listening and, you know, subscribe. No, just kidding. But
I appreciate everybody. People that call me and be like, oh, you know, you should do this, you should do that. We're on certain topics that they want to hear. You know, we're working on some stuff coming up.
Yeah.
We got like the JFK that's going to come up that we really want to get our info down, and I think that's going to be a really good podcast.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, we're thinking about bringing guests here in soon.
Getting video going.
Getting some video going. So the ball's rolling. The ball's rolling. It just takes some time. But for those people who've been patient with us and listening to us, we appreciate you. And also, I was thinking about maybe here in a couple months or so, maybe start getting merch.
Yeah, there you go. Get some shirts going.
Get some shirts, hoodies,
Effect logo.
And hand them out to whoever. And
heck yeah.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. You know, let the ball roll and see what happens. What goes with it.
Sounds good, brother.
So, all right, man. Well, take care.
All right, you too.